Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Classes of Mail. My name is Alan Gigax. I am here with Michael Brazenly.
Hi, everyone.
And, you know, we did an episode where Michael was allowed to rant and rave, and I was really worried about how it was going to go. And, Michael, you did a great job. You
I'm
kept
trying
it
to
under
keep the
control.
names out.
Yeah, right. And not... Right, and talk about like bigger issues and not just like, oh, this person's a dick, you know, but really keep it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Being frustrated with the post office and the union.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. So he only got to like half of his topics.
Yeah.
And so, shit, it went so well. Let's do it again.
Yeah, part two.
So, yeah, with no further ado, I don't need the big preamble. Well, who knows what madness Michael will get into this time.
Right.
So once again, it is worth reiterating that Michael's opinions are his own, and he is a crazy person. So, all right, dude, have at it.
Yeah,
What's your first thing on your mind?
Well, the first thing on my mind is when I argue, especially with management. Okay, my mouth doesn't stop.
Dude, I've run into that argument with you myself.
It just goes and goes and goes, and it does piss people, and it does get people riled up. Okay.
Yeah, I've learned from being married for 16 years that oftentimes the answer is, okay.
Yeah.
And just let it go.
And people get angry because when they're talking, I'll talk over them all the time.
Yeah.
And they hate that too. Oh, I'm acting like a bunch of Republicans. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. It's an opinion thing. Again,
that's
letting
fine.
everybody know.
You got your own opinion.
This is all strictly opinion. Nothing to do against anybody. This is all my opinion, my ideas, my thinking. It's only me.
Yeah.
Okay?
I hope that there are listeners out there who have no idea what my politics are. I definitely have them, but I try to keep them out of the show.
Yeah.
But I don't care, dude. You're your own person.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I'm just came out of where I'm arguing with
fine.
Republican a lot, and they want to talk over me all the time, but I'm good at talking over them too, so it becomes a big argument.
Dude.
You know?
All right.
But I try to stop that because it causes really almost...
Well, in that case, the floor is yours.
It's got to the point where I stop.
Go for it.
Okay. So anyway, I was talking about our NALC and how things go on. So I'm going a little bit more locally this time. Okay. I am so frustrated with my stewards. Okay. And I think I talked about it the part one a little bit. But the part that I'm getting so frustrated is I'll go up to them and say, hey, this is the violation. Whatever. And then walks away.
Right.
And I tell them, hey, this is a violation. And the thing is, I don't just tell them that it's a violation. It's a violation because of the Article 1. It's a violation because they're violating harassment thing. It's a violation because they're not talking about safety. They're trying to give this, creating a hostile work environment because they're talking about discipline during a stand-up. I mean, I just go on and on and
I can see from the perspective of a less aggressive steward or a newer steward where it's just overwhelming and like, you know, you come up with these complicated arguments that are valid. And so for a steward, they're like, I don't get it. I'm not going to be able to file this grievance and just leave me alone. But of course, what they should do is like, okay, well, let me learn how to file this so that I can be a better steward.
Well, that's because our branch told them to not list anything I say.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it's not because they don't want to do it. It's just that they were told to not list anything I say. Okay. And including, I have steward that's going into the meetings with the manager, bringing carriers into the office with the manager and a steward to tell them to not list to me or Jonathan, saying that we are what do you call it?
Troublemakers?
Yeah. You know that we're giving them their I forget the word that they used.
I don't know. Bad advice?
Yeah, bad. We're bad influence.
Oh, okay, sure,
Okay?
sure.
And the thing is, what our bad influence is that we're letting everybody know what the rules are.
Yeah, and what their rights are.
Okay, and what the rules and rights are.
And dude, you want the proof? It was how things went while you were a steward.
Yeah, and including, you know, most people don't do this, but I read the JChem like 6 times. Okay, and I read the M39 like 3 times. M41 3 times. And now I did not memorize it. So
Right,
there
right.
are stuff that I'm not going to remember. Okay. And
But you know how many times management's read it?
Zero.
None. That's right.
zero. Okay. And the sad part is majority of the officers, I think, that even has read it maybe even once.
Right.
Okay. So a lot of stuff that I come up with is because it's something that I read. And I know Alan, and you're like, oh, I don't know, let me look it up. And then you find what?
Yeah,
That
it's
I
in
was-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find that I'm, or it's
Right. Or there's some
not-
basis to it. Yeah.
some basis to it, not like perfectly word for word,
Right.
but I know it's there. And a lot of times when you say, hey, Michael, can you find
Dude.
it? And I'll find it almost right away.
I love that. Right. That you come with the receipt. A good example of that is like unadjudicated discipline, you know, where it says we wound up looking it up in the JCAM, and the JCAM says that arbitrators can't consider unadjudicated discipline
Right.
when making their decision. But how does that apply to management? And in talking to Michael and talking to stewards from around the country, it's still an argument that you want to make because, you know, management knows that other discipline that came before is on feet of clay and it's going to get knocked down, and that's going to invalidate this discipline. But dude, talking to Fred Woodley about it, he also agreed with you. And he said, even if that argument isn't going to hold right now, you still have to make the argument because this discipline is going to be in line behind the other discipline. And when that first one gets adjudicated and now gets removed, that has to be cited in the one that follows because you can't make new arguments after
Right.
it gets past Formal A. So it's already got to be in there.
Right. And it's a domino effect too.
Yes, exactly.
You get one thrown out, then everything
And
else
all
has
of
to
the
get
rest
thrown
of them
out.
fall. That's exactly right. And so you have to make that argument if it's not being settled at the lowest level.
Yes.
Dude, it's
And-
such a great point.
Yeah, and this is what I told my stewards, and in fact, I even mentioned it down at the hall. If there is a grievance in process for like attendance or whatever, it's already sent up,
Yep.
and send it up.
Sure, right.
Send it up.
Put it in line
If
behind.
there's any more, send it up.
Right,
because
get it in
everything
line.
else becomes uneducated discipline.
Right. And it's just going to fall. It's going to be a domino.
When
that
they
falls.
finally get up to that level, they're all going to get thrown out.
Right.
Okay, they're all gonna have to. Now they're worried. Well, management may just keep adding to that because it's so slow at the top. They may add to it and to start doing removal or wherever.
Right.
Okay. Well, the removals goes before, so because you put everything else behind, so the
Right.
removals will go before, right?
Right, right,
And if
exactly.
it goes before and find out there was uneducated discipline,
Right.
that gets thrown out.
Right. That the removal
Then everything else gets thrown
is
after that
based
too.
on unadjudicated discipline, which the arbitrator can't consider.
Because
Right.
you cannot discipline somebody for something previously that happened.
Right.
So if the removal gets thrown out, then the
Right.
rest of everything else on that same subject has to get thrown out.
Right, because they're not going to put you in double jeopardy.
Exactly. Okay. And this is why I said send it up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's such an easy thing to do, fight on, yet our branch and our national seem to not understand. I don't understand how hard it is for this argument. Okay.
Right.
And so I get, I'm going
All right. He's pulling up his list to go to the next topic.
I'm going to the next topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Where am I?
Do you want
Where
me
am
to fill while you're looking for that, or you
Oh,
you
yeah.
got it? Okay.
No, I got it.
All right.
All right. So next one is deems desirable. Okay.
Yes.
Now this is something that I heard Josh Shrum and
Yep. He just did an episode about
and,
it as we're
Corey
recording
Walton.
this. Yep.
said that deems desirable doesn't exist.
No,
I'm
Joshua
sorry.
Shrum
No,
said
they
the
said that
opposite.
deems desirable exists. Both said that. Okay.
I want to put some context on this
Okay.
because we've had some disagreements about the meaning of what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It exists in the sense that management will use it. It's something carriers have
Yes.
to face. It is a real and tangible threat to carriers.
Yes.
Okay.
So it exists because our union officers and stewards have basically made it that it exists
It exists because it's been tolerated.
because it's been tolerated.
Okay.
Okay. And here's the thing. Josh Shrum said that, hey, there is this, something in the saying that when management deems it desirable,
Yeah, that's in the ELM.
okay, which is the employee label, but does not say there's a deems desirable program.
Right. Right.
Okay. So in reality, does it exist? No, does not exist in any handbooks
Well,
and manuals.
No, right, because it's
Okay.
supposed to be a purely case-by-case basis, which is
Exactly.
what Joshua Shrum was saying.
Right.
So the example that he used is Michael calls out sick, and then I tell the supervisor, hey, I know for a fact Michael's not sick today. He just wanted to go to the beach.
Okay. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
What if I did that to anybody?
Yeah, right. That's the problem. This is why management has an obligation to actually
find out for sure.
To find out, right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's the point. That management said, well, somebody told me that this guy was going to a concert and not being sick.
Right.
No. Okay, that is the reason why they cannot use deemed desirable whenever they feel like it.
Right.
Okay?
And I want to interject here for a second because, you know, I've called in sick and then I've gone to Costco to like get groceries, you know, or whatever.
But they got pharmacy there.
Well, it's not just that. Is I can be incapacitated for postal work, but be well enough to go to Costco because the demands placed on me at Costco, I can stop anytime I want. I can go to the bathroom anytime I want. It's in the air conditioning. I have a cart to lean on. I'm only going to be there for 45 minutes. That's much easier to do.
Pharmacy, if you need to
go to the pharmacy
medicine.
Or whatever.
Right.
That's a lot different from going and carrying my park and loop
And
route
actually working.
Right. Exactly. There is a threshold here.
Right.
Yep.
Again, it is management's responsibility to prove that you're abusing sick leave. Okay.
Right.
And the deems desirable. Okay. So the deems desirable is basically the same thing as a restricted sick leave. Okay.
Right. In that it forces you to bring in documentation.
Yeah. Why is the same thing as a restricted sick leave? Because it does the same thing what a restricted sick leave does.
It makes you bring in documentation.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. To show proof that if you have to management still has to show proof that you're abusing sick leave, and then when they believe that you have been abusing sick leave, then they have to follow that process on a restricted sick leave.
Right.
Okay. Is any managers following them when they're doing the deems desirable? No, they're not.
Right.
Okay?
And so they're using it as an end run around restricted sick leave.
When people say that deems desirable don't exist, okay, it exists in management's eyes,
Right.
but in any handbooks and manuals, it does not. Okay. So my suggestion, if you're a steward or filing that grievance, ask management for handbooks and manual on how the deems desirable works.
Right. Yeah, because I think it was, again, Joshua Shrum was talking about, like, it's in ERMS. There's just this thing that they click that says deems desirable.
But where's the handbooks and manuals on that for
like
all
what
employees
the process
to see?
is, what you should consider, because they don't do it that way.
And again, for them to have that handbooks and manuals, who has to agree with that?
The union.
Exactly.
Right.
Has the union agreed to use this?
No.
Because we've agreed to use restricted sick leave that's in the employee labor manual.
Yes, exactly. So that's the process that they think you're abusing.
So I don't disagree with a lot of stuff that Corey Walton says. Okay. But when he says, do not use saying that this doesn't exist. Well, or it doesn't exist in handbooks and manuals. Okay. It does exist in management's eyes and they use it. So you have to use it saying, hey, management is using this.
Right. Okay? And so this is another one of those things where the hall has told you that it's not a grievance for management to use deems desirable. But in the meantime, you're sitting on settled grievances.
So they're not supposed to be using that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Right. In fact, I think you read one of them on Classes of Mail.
Yeah. It was an arbitration settlement.
Oh, yeah. Even more binding. Right.
In fact, there was another arbitration settlement that even Corey Walton was reading about.
Right. And essentially said the same thing.
Yeah. That this is basically a restricted sick leave.
Right.
Okay. So, yes, it does exist because it is the same thing as a restricted sick leave. They're just management just using a different word because they think we're a bunch of idiots that we think we don't know the difference.
Right. And we got to stop proving them right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to fight that shit.
Yeah. That's where we need to wake up and say, no, this is the same thing as restricted sick leave. You guys need to follow that rule. Okay.
Nice.
And why do you think that we won all these things at arbitration? Because we can prove that it's restricted sick leave.
Right. Right.
And there's this process.
Right.
Because there's no handbooks and manuals of what deems desirable is.
And because the process that's in the ELM stretches out over 6 months and involves like meeting with the carrier, going over the information, having evidence, management's not going to do it.
It also says, has the carrier improved?
Right, exactly. That's why I say it's 6 months, because you talk to them about restricted sick leave, then you see if their attendance improves the next month, and then if the next quarter. Right. And then if it doesn't improve the next quarter, that's when you put them on restricted sick leave.
Yeah.
And so it's like a 6 month process.
No. That's like 9 months.
You're right, because they get the quarter, then the next quarter. Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then once
Management
the carrier
doesn't do it.
improves, then it gets all thrown out again.
Right,
and
exactly.
redo it.
Yeah, because you can show like, well, I used 10 absences that quarter. I only used 6 this quarter. That's improved.
Why do you think it's made it so that it's hard for management to get after carriers in the employee labor manual?
I'm not sure that because we had to agree to that
because
it
we
was
earn
a joint
sick leave.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
We have the right to use a sick leave.
Yeah, it is an earned benefit.
And so when they're trying to punish us for something that we earn, it's going to make it hard for management to try to issue that discipline.
Bar.
Yeah.
There better be a high bar.
And that is why it's written that way. And what's been happening in our union?
Dude, and
they've been allowing management to issue that discipline.
Yeah. When management agreed to this restrictive process, and now we're not even holding them to it.
Yeah.
Dude, again, to keep going back to the stuff C. Moline said, like, if we win these grievances, all we get is the ELM language we already agreed to. But for the union to go into these grievances and get something less than what we agreed to in the ELM, it's shameful.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. A lot of the settlements is... to stop management to keep on doing this, this will become a what they call it, escalated remedy, and monetary remedy or for later on.
Yep.
I had those grievance settlements.
Okay.
And our branch says, "Oh, Michael, you don't know you don't understand. We can't charge them for money because you know what their answer is? We got to protect the postal because they're broke."
That's not being said at the local level, is it?
Yes, it did.
Dude.
Michael,
I don't talk to them very much, so I didn't hear
post office going broke. We need, we can't keep on taking the money, or we won't have a post office anymore, Michael. I don't know why you would do it this way.
If they don't like it, they should follow the fucking contract.
Exactly. If they want to save the post office, stop management filing these rules.
Yeah, they're the ones in charge of it, and they agreed to the fucking contract. Oh,
okay. So this is why my rant exists, because of the shit that comes out of some of these people's mouths.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they rather protect the management and instead of protecting the carriers, because it is management who is breaking the rules,
right?
Not the carriers.
Yeah.
Okay?
If they did the right things, the grievance wouldn't exist.
And I remember when I was first becoming a steward, and they always said, "Hey, you cannot fire management because why? What did they say? Do you remember?"
No.
Because it'll give them the go light to fire carriers.
Oh, it's like a quid pro quo.
Right.
You're right.
But then the management has been firing carriers like crazy.
Right.
So why don't we get it to get all these management fired like crazy too?
Right.
Do the quid pro quo the other way.
Yeah. I can't argue with that.
I'm renting.
Yeah, dude.
Like I said.
Right. I can't argue with what you're saying.
This is what they told the stewards when I was first started, saying, "Hey, Michael, we cannot fire these managers because they can start doing that to the carriers." Right. But they've been doing this. I know so many carriers have been fired.
Dude.
For a bunch of things that management does not.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, there's a double standard.
Okay.
Even though we're both bound by the same ELM and the way we're supposed to treat employees generally. Go ahead.
Now I'm going to get to the part where I'm really going to piss some people off.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I have problems with the retirees.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
So the retirees always vote against active carriers, even at the branch meetings and national meetings.
It's certainly what we've seen at our own branch meetings and when we went to Boston.
Yes. Yeah. And when I was in Chicago.
Yeah, I didn't go to that one, but yeah.
So they keep voting for establishment. They keep voting for... They even voted for Renfro after proof was given. The Renfro Act was alcoholic and didn't cancel. Basically, didn't show up for the negotiate prior contract.
Right,
and they like, oh, but let's give him a slap on the wrist and let him so that he can not do this again. No, we need leadership and not a drunk. I'm sorry.
I can't argue with you.
Okay, we need a leader who's not going to do that. Who's actually going to look. If I remember correctly, even Frederick Rolando came in with Paul Barton because Paul Barton didn't know what to do, brought Rolando in to do the negotiate on the contract. This is what I'm told. I don't know for sure, but this is what I'm told.
We should know all of that for sure because there was that open bargaining resolution where we're supposed to get all this information.
And then I heard that Renfro found out and kicked them all out.
That's the way I hear it too.
Okay.
I'd love to know for sure what really happened, but he's fucking not doing
And this
what it
is
said in the resolution.
This is why he only settled on these negotiations by himself, because he kicked everybody out because he was recovering from drinking.
Right.
And
well, dude, that part we know because like when he came to the rap session in Vegas, he's like, yeah, I'm going it alone, you know.
But again,
I'll take full responsibility. Yep.
it was the retirees allowed him to do the shit.
Right.
Because they voted
all
for
the status quo people.
Okay.
Right.
And when I know that I brought this up to some of the retirees, they're like, Michael, come on, Michael, you got to give them a chance. Okay. But here's the thing. They affect all of us when they don't do things correctly.
Yeah,
okay?
of course.
What happened? I'm sorry. Our contract really sucked because of that.
Well, the retirees didn't get to vote on the contract.
True.
Oh, but they voted to keep Renfro in power. Right. And then
that made us screw
they
the contract.
Right. Because to your point about voting against the interest of the working carriers, the working carriers got to say where we decided whether we like the contract or not. And we voted that shit down.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now here's the thing. I don't have things against retirees because they are the ones who created the post office and everything.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you have anything against them.
You know, I don't really have things against. No, personally, I don't really have things against. What I have a problem with is that. Okay, I'm gonna go with like our branch a little bit. Okay, our bylaw says that they pay $30 a year.
Sure.
To have the membership at our branch.
Right.
Okay, yet our branch takes care of them way better than the active carriers.
Oh, they're definitely a monetary loss.
Mm-hmm. They do retiree dinners. They send out Christmas cards. They do all these things. And they go, Michael, but we do stuff for the active carriers. No, they're invited for all the retirees too.
Yeah, what they brought up at the last meeting was that we have like a Christmas party at each station where, it's like $5 per carrier that the union will donate. And the retirees, I don't think they come to the station for that.
But they can.
But maybe.
No, they can.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be kicked out. Fuck. And matter of fact, I've seen retirees at my station.
Show up to the Christmas parties.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I don't want to go as far as you go.
I know. Okay.
but this is your rant.
This is my rant.
Enjoy.
Okay. So my rant is that they're paying $30 a year. We pay $33 a paycheck. Okay. They have the same power to vote for officers as we do. They have the same power at the national convention as we do. And they have the same power at the general meeting as we do. Now, here's the thing. Constitution also says that retirees cannot go to any of these conventions unless they have something that had to do with the health benefit or life insurance. But they go to every one of these conventions anyway. Okay, I have not seen it where the retirees don't go because of this. Somehow, some way, something that says it has to do with health benefit or life insurance, so they can go. Okay, and so when they do, they get to vote on anything that comes out, even in the national convention.
That is their role as a delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that's where I'm saying I have a problem with the retirees. They have more power. Let me tell you why they have more power than the active carriers. Okay. Because they're retirees, they have more time off to go to these meetings.
Yeah, they don't have to miss work to go to the meeting.
A lot of the carriers that we have, they're all working. They can't make those meetings. Because when I go to a national convention, all I see is like more than 50% of the people that's there are retirees. Okay? That's all I see. Okay? Or they're ready to retire. I don't know. Okay?
Right.
But they keep voting for the establishment. Okay? Yeah. They keep voting for Brian Renfro. They keep voting for whatever Renfro says, whatever Fred Rolando says. They keep voting for these same things.
Right. We talked about that like with Adam Crosby, where, these are all table one carriers who seem to have this attitude of, well, I suffered, you should suffer too.
Right.
Or, I came through the ranks. Like, they don't realize how hard it is for young carriers these days, for new carriers. Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to say that your criticisms are, invalid.
Yeah,
we see the results of it.
But so let's say when you first started working,
yeah,
how many parcels did you get every day?
I don't know, not that many.
Right.
You know,
because
but I
we
got
didn't
a lot
have
more
Amazon
mail.
then.
Yeah. But I got a lot more mail.
You got a lot more
DPS
DPS and flats.
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't get as many parcels.
Right.
Okay. Now it's the opposite.
Right.
We get more parcels than DPS or catalogs.
Yeah.
Okay. What's harder? We're going to now. It's making it even when people with CBUs have to go to the door more now too.
Right. It's a good point because with CBUs, it means more trips to the door instead of just standing in front of the CBU.
So
on a park and loop, I find that it almost seems like no matter how light the mail volume is, I'm still going to every single house
because
everybody
of those
gets at least one
packages.
piece. No, but on top of going to every house, which I had to do before,
right
now I also have the packages.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's more work. And plus, you're carrying. You got
more weight. And all,
yeah. So in reality, it's not like there's less work than how it was. It's just before.
Different work.
It's a different work. Okay. Yeah. And
I would go further because with less caseable mail, you got less office time, more street time, and the street time is what's really physically demanding.
And back then, you didn't have those scanners that track carriers.
No, that's true.
Okay. So now you have more worries of getting fired because management is tracking you at every little thing and they check on you for every little thing. They know where you're at. They don't have to drive around different streets trying to find you.
Dude, I remember talking to old timers about, they would say like on Saturday, they'd hustle through their routes and then go to the bar and watch college football.
Exactly.
It was time to go clock out.
Remember the cheers,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cliff.
Exactly. Yeah. Or my buddy Trevor coming to my house to play PlayStation.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is you just ratted him out.
Dude, that's been told on Classes of Mail before. And
but that's like 20 years ago. So.
Yeah. Even more than that, because it was before I came to the post office. Good luck disciplining him for that.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, that's the whole idea of saying, we worked harder is nonsense.
Right.
Okay. And these retirees, Michael, you're getting overreacting this. You're doing this. I'm sorry, but when I see things going wrong, I'm not overreacting. This is
right,
what
you're
happens.
Seeing the results. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
And so the retirees, yes, they are the ones who got us where we're at, but they also got us where we're at on how shit it is the way we're at.
Right. Where we're at is not, it's not perfect. It's not incredible, especially for the younger people.
Yep. So the people that actually, to me, got the best was when Vincent Zambrano was around. After he became the president. Okay. Until he retired. Because everything went to shit afterwards. Okay. Because they're creating different jobs changing the rules.
Right. Of dividing
cutting pay.
The workforce.
I mean, it's been going on like crazy and making it worse and worse and worse in every contract.
Right. We're going backward.
We're going backwards. Okay. And who voted all them in? It's all the retirees that was in before and now. Okay. And so that's where I get a little upset is that the retirees voted all these things to happen. And then to now, even I listen to everybody at different branches with a bunch of retirees still run as the president.
Right.
And they collect the retirement check from the post office. And they also get their officer
salary,
paycheck from our union. So they get paid double.
Right.
And then they tell us, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're going to run against me? Then I'm going to blackball you.
Right.
Okay. And that is the biggest problem with our union. Okay. Because all these retirees have come in and is not allowing the active carriers to change. They're blocking us. Okay. They're blocking us. Literally
I hear
blocking
from
us.
people all around the country.
Okay. Me too, because I'm hearing from other people too.
Right.
And they're all complaining about how these retirees are blocking them. They're like, man.
Or the good old boys.
Yeah, the good old boys club.
Right.
Okay. My president, he's like 75 years old and he's still there and he won't let anybody else go into the officer.
Right.
Unless they're strictly their kiss ass people, then that's it.
The ones who want to further the status quo. Right. Yep.
And that is, to me, is a major problem with our union. Okay. That needs change. Okay. Now,
so I want to interject something real quick because for the longest time, forever, until extremely recently, people were operating in a low information environment where the only information they got came from the good old boys.
Right.
They had a stranglehold on information. Right. And we're breaking out of that now, thanks to Classes of Mail, from 8 arbitration, next generation carriers. there's now these other sources, and you're seeing that change start to come where, like with the tentative agreement, where if we were still in the old low information environment, probably would have passed.
Right.
But we have these fresh voices, and we have ways to get information besides the postal record.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I know we're at 30-minute mark, but I just want to say, okay. I asked a question to Brian Renfro about the retirees, if they can run as an officer.
Right.
Okay. Now, the question that I asked is that, hey, in our Constitution says that retirees shall not have voice or vote on local member understanding, ratification, and job acts. Because because the officers can negotiate on LMOU and some of the contractual stuff, how can they do that if the retirees are not supposed to have this power? Okay. I get an answer from Brian Renfro saying, yes, they can run for officer. And so because as an officer, they can work on these things. Okay. And then the Constitution, he repeated what I said. Okay.
Right.
But that doesn't solve the problem to me. Okay. Because if they're retirees, how are they voting when it says the retirees shall not have any voice or vote? Yet, if you're an officer, even though they're retired, they can still have that power. I don't know. To me, it's just backwards. Okay, it's like words. It's like word salad. I'm going to use the words and how it is to help it which way we want. To me, this is my opinion.
Yeah, so
I personally think Brian Renfro is saying it this way because he has retirees on his staff.
Well, let's read from the actual Constitution. So this is the main Constitution,
right.
Article 2, and it reads, such retirees, it talks about people who left while they were in good standing, such retirees shall have no voice or vote in any matter pertaining to the ratification of a national working agreement, local memorandum of understanding, or proposed work stoppage. Yeah. These members shall have no voice or vote in any of the affairs of such branch. Oh, no, that's somebody else. That's not retirees. Okay. But yeah, no voice or vote in these three things. In the National Working Agreement, the LMOU, and in strikes. Votes for strikes. Okay.
And because officers deals with LMOU ratification and so forth, and including the job acts or whatever it said.
Potential job action or something like that. Proposed work stoppage.
Right, proposed work stoppage, which is like rally or whatever it is. Okay. That means that goes really, when they go as an officer, is going against that Constitution, that sentence.
Right, because
that's how I read it.
Yeah, I get you. Right. These things are in conflict. And the president of the National Union has resolved that conflict by saying, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because if you vote, there's nothing that says that a retiree, like they're a member of the branch, and so any member of the branch can run for any office. And so, so they can run, and then there's a conflict because the duties of that office give them a voice in things that they're not supposed to have a voice in.
Or
there's our conflict. Right. And so, Renfro's solution to that, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying Renfro is wrong.
Okay.
Michael is saying that Renfro is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's a presidential decision that we got.
Yeah.
And then that's what we're going to follow.
Yeah.
Okay?
I get why.
Okay.
I mean, that is the status quo. There's no denying that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I disagree in the fact that if this is what's in the Constitution, then how can this happen? Okay. So I checked with the AFL-CIO with some of the people that's in the union, right? You know me, I'm always asking questions. They said retirees and their unions cannot run for office.
Right. Yeah, that's normal in other unions. Yeah.
Except for the post office, some reason. Our NALC allows that. We're like the only one. Okay. Why is that?
I mean, I have a hypothesis about it, but go ahead.
Unions don't want to do that
time.
Because the Constitution and because the retirees creates.
Well, they're out of touch with the problems on the workroom floor.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't know what's happening on the workroom except for the recent retirees.
Right, and that's a problem we have at National. It's something that both Corey and Mike Cariff talk about regularly. It's like the people up there are out of touch. They don't deliver the mail.
Oh, and the retirees, do you think they give a shit about our paycheck? Our pay chart? No, they don't, because
Right,
they
'cause
already
they're
got
not
their
on it.
retirement
Right,
pay.
they're already at top step. And
Okay.
yeah, I hear. I
Do
mean,
they care about some of these contracts? No, because it doesn't affect them either. Okay, but I know they vote to saying, oh, we want to make things right and be this and that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything malicious going on.
Yeah, I know they're trying to make it,
But the concerns are not the same.
right.
Right.
Okay, I remember in Chicago, which you were not there for, and somebody was trying to pass something on the floor to have Bluetooth, saying that, hey, all states are allowing the Bluetooth to happen where you have it on 1 year, not both years.
Okay.
As long because so you can do hands free and have 1 year. So we'd like to make it so that the carriers get allowed to do this. So we don't get punished for that.
Sure.
And I saw all retirees say no, because that's not safe, because none of them had to wear a Bluetooth before.
All right.
Okay.
Dude. Meanwhile, I would guess at least half of carriers wear earbuds while they're out on the street.
More than half. Okay. I can guarantee you this. I say 90% management has Bluetooth in their
Oh,
ear.
yeah. Dude, and I see because the same regulations also talk about like using your cell phone while you're on the workroom floor, like when you're walking around. Dude, I see that all the time. The supervisor's walking
Always
across
on
the
the
floor,
phone, walking
on
across
the phone.
the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
I mean, dude, in fairness, I wear my earbuds continuously and I've never been disciplined for it.
Yeah. Well, don't say that. Now you said it. They may come after you. Don't knock on wood.
Yeah. This is all just Michael's crazy talk. Pay no attention.
Okay. So this is some of the rants that I'm talking about. I know we've gone to 36 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's still more that I can go over, because
I'm sure there is. Well, load up for the next one, down the road.
Yeah. But again, if anybody else want me to rant about something, you can also send classes of mail at gmail.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
And send some and say, hey, Michael, talk about this, because I
Oh, yeah.
can have a rant episode and talk about all kinds of shit.
What if they want to reach you directly?
Well, they can call me at 702-724-6355.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I have no problem giving my phone number. Unfortunately, right now I'm getting a lot of junk calls too. So if you text before,
text first
and say, "Hey, Michael, this is so and so." Either they can call me, or I'm going to call you. I just wanted to give you a warning.
Right.
Then I'll answer.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Or unless I'm busy delivering
Yeah, of
mail or
course.
talking to a customer, then I'll call you right back. But otherwise, I do try to answer as soon as I can.
There you go.
If you don't get a response, send it again.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Because
sometimes you get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, because I do get a lot of text messages. I mean, in a day, I'll probably go through 20, 30 of them. So one may just pass through.
Right.
And so if you don't get it, try it again.
There you go.
Or email to Alan. He's very good about letting me know.
Classes@gmail.com. Absolutely. I pass it on.
Yep.
All right. You good, Michael?
I mean, I can still go for another hour.
Yeah. Let's call it here.
Yeah.
Keep it fun.
Yeah.
So
there's way more stuff like the contract, what's coming up in the next year
Right.
with the,
Oh, dude,
with
we'll
the
have plenty of
convention and
time.
all that stuff. Oh, there's so much things.
Yeah.
And some plans that Alan's trying to do. So
I got a response from Nicole Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was trying to rent a booth at the convention and have the podcast set up in there, and other podcasters can come in. It's a good place to record, do interviews. So I contacted Nicole Ryan, then National Secretary Treasurer, and she said that the booths are only for branches selling merch where the proceeds go to MDA. That's the only thing that you can rent a booth for.
Yeah.
And so, we're out of luck. So we'll have to find random corners of the convention center, just like last time.
So here's not a rant about MDA. Why only MDA?
I mean, that's our charity of choice.
I know.
Yeah.
Why only MDA? There's so many other things. I know they have booths for veterans.
You got to pick something, I guess.
No, I'm saying is they have booths for veterans.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's not MDA.
No, I don't know how that works.
So I
But
don't know either.
regardless, I can't do what I wanted to do, and so be it.
my thinking
Yep.
is that we can rent a room or something near the convention hall.
If Boston was any indication, that is prohibitively expensive.
It's in LA.
Yeah.
So it will be expensive.
It will be, yeah.
So we were thinking maybe do a GoFundMe or
No,
something.
dude, not for that much, because the booth is really small. I thought the booth might be affordable. But dude, a room, even a tiny well, shit, I don't need seating for 100 people. I need seating for 4 people.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it maybe it's worth asking.
Well, we got to find out what hotel it is first.
Well, it's at the convention center. What do you mean, what hotel? It's at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
It's at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure they got some offices you can rent out.
You know, it's worth asking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, my plan also is to rent an Airbnb, and which is something I got to bring up at the next meeting. Can I use my delegate funds to pay for an Airbnb instead of paying for a hotel room? I don't see why they would say no, but dude, with our branch, you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
Airbnb where you can use my funds too, so we can all stay in the same house or something.
It's more economical. You can get way more people there, you know, for the same money. Like that seems like the way to go. I don't see why they'd oppose it.
But because it's our brand.
But you never know. Yeah. Because I might have to get somebody else to float the idea.
Right. Maybe we can get Corey Walton to join on that.
Well, I mean, the idea is, like, for example, John Murphy is not going to be a paid delegate because his branch, it's a whole thing. So if he can get out there, he could stay in my Airbnb.
Right.
You know, absolutely.
Well, just like how you stayed at my hotel room.
Right, in your hotel room.
Because you paid to get there. You just stayed in the hotel room that I got.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I didn't have to pay for a hotel while I was there. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll see. That's in the works.
Some ideas. Yeah.
All right. And
it'd be cool to do podcasts with a bunch of other podcasters there.
Exactly.
The same spot.
Yeah, that would be nice. Right, to have
That's
that
why
space.
I said getting a room would be nice because you can just lock up the room. You don't have to carry it with you.
Oh, but dude, okay. Now that you mention that, because like at the Boston convention, there was a hotel that was like the Wyndham or whatever that was attached to the convention center. And that's where Corey recorded.
Right.
And so people could just walk over there and it was reasonably easy.
Right.
So if that's $300 a night, because I was thinking like I could crowdfund maybe $2,000 to rent a booth. Getting a room at that hotel
for 5 days.
Yeah, dude, that would probably be less than $2,000, especially because it just needs to be a little recording space. Michael, you might be onto something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can get other podcasters to come in.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And share
that would
the
be
room.
the designated recording space.
Right. I think that's a great idea. We could bring Joshua Shrum. You can bring
Fred
John
Woodley.
Murphy, Fred Woodley.
Right.
Other people.
Everybody doesn't have to do it in their hotel room.
Right.
Dude, look at the brains on this guy. All right, well, as that develops,
maybe we get other podcasts to
future.
get involved and maybe get some place like that. We all get together and do something.
Right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, that's part of the crowdfunding. You know, we're going to have 6 different podcasts in there, and so we can divide it up.
Okay. And then Corey Walton, he can do his thing at the LA convention and promote his CLC.
Right. Dude.
Same with Mike Cariff. He can promote his.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the idea. Right.
Yeah.
There's so many people to talk to. I mean, look at the last one where we met Greg Donaldson, we met Sam Adams, and they had that phenomenal episode. This is where I met John Murphy.
Right.
There's so much.
I think it'd be great to interview so many people. Lots of ideas.
Yeah, lots of ideas.
Because I think this time in LA, it's very important because of voting on who's going to be the president or who's going to be the executive.
There's going to be a lot that needs to be discussed.
I think it's going to be very important.
Yep. Okay. So that's it. Guys, thank you very much for listening. And for Michael Brazenly, I'm Alan Gigax. Guys, thanks for listening, and we will catch you all next time.